Four couples are about to go on a scientific journey. All are at very different stages of love. Steve and Donna are getting married. Hayley and Jay have just split up.
I hate this. I hate it so much.
Alan and Lynn are thinking of doing the same.
Do you realise it? It is pathetic.
Millie and Sid have been married for 70 years, all of them happy.
There's mayonnaise, mate.
But why does love last for some couples and not for others?
Oh, I can't hold it together anymore.
Now scientists think they know the answer. They can even predict from a wedding photograph when it will go wrong.
This couple is in trouble.
But when it does, can the scientists do the most important thing of all? Put it right.
Can I ask the purpose of this?
No, please continue.
Oh, excuse the mess.
Everyone dreams of finding their perfect partner. A year ago, Steve met Donna. Since then, they've had a baby and spent only one night apart.
We've been apart now for about 15, 16 hours, and I just can't wait to get back to her and see her face again. And she's going to be wearing a dress, her hair's going to be done, the whole thing, so she's going to be all glory. It's every moment that we're together, the love is there, and this love is great. Yeah.
Sean? Where's my shoes? In here.
Like all couples going up the aisle, Steve and Donna believe their marriage will last forever. But today, almost half of all marriages will end in divorce. 6 years after their wedding day, Hayley and Jay have separated. Jay had been having an affair, the #1 reason relationships fail.
And how do I know that it's not going to happen again? How can we get it back again? Please tell me what you think, how we can.
I don't know.
Good morning.
Alan and Lynn went through the same thing 25 years ago. They stayed together. Now their marriage is threatened by the second biggest reason for divorce, constant arguing.
I arrive late home, it's where have you been, why are you late?
No.
I've prepared you a dinner, the least you can be here is on time, or at least let me know you're going to be late.
I don't want such and such bananas. I want Caribbean bananas and all this. I mean, do you
Oh,
realise how... It is pathetic.
That's so petty to bring that
But
up.
it is, that is
I
you.
didn't, no, rubbish.
But Millie and Sid show that love doesn't have to go wrong.
Young people today seem to me to be looking for utter perfection. Where is their perfection? Maybe in heaven. And I know it sounds daft, but everybody's got the possibility of creating their own heaven on this little bit of earth, if you want to.
So in the presence of God and before this congregation, I proclaim that they are husband and wife.
Love. In the early days, it always seems so easy. But for many couples, those happy feelings can soon turn sour. Alan is manager of a large golf and leisure complex. He's been married to Lynn for 32 years. But now he seems dissatisfied.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that I haven't achieved more. I'm disappointed that I don't earn more money. I'm disappointed that I don't live in a bigger house. I'm disappointed that, you know, I can't afford a new car every year. I'm frustrated because I haven't achieved what I would like to have achieved out of life.
But 7 years after getting married, Alan's disappointment led to more than regrets.
I met this woman who I found physically attractive, and we just fell into a highly physical relationship. And it got me away from the domestic trivia, which I found so dull.
Steady. I didn't think that could happen to us at all. Up to that point, I thought we had the perfect marriage, and I was very proud of him, and he was on a pedestal, and I was floundering, absolutely floundering, because the shock was just so much.
And then a year after that, I then got into another relationship.
I find that I do say to myself, why am I still here? I should have gone out and done something different or whatever, but I don't know why. I just am still here.
Lynn and Alan struggle on, but younger women who suffer infidelity are twice as likely to take decisive action. 3 weeks ago, Hayley found out about Jay's affair and immediately threw him out of the house. After 14 years and 3 children together, he's now living in a friend's spare room.
I felt on my own for the first week. Very alone, that I wanted to finish it. That I didn't want to see anybody, because I couldn't believe what I had done and the fault of other people's perceptions. I felt ashamed knowing I've just wrecked everything.
He said he adores me and he wants to spend the rest of his life with me, and that he's made the biggest mistake of his life. Which we both know, it's just how to be over this. It's still hot. It's bed. But I suppose in one way it can only get worse before it gets better. That's the only way I'm looking at it. Love you.
I love her with all my heart. And I want her back.
I want him to be able to talk to me. I don't want to lose that sort of thing that he doesn't talk to me, because he's always spoke.
Infidelity has all but destroyed Hayley and Jay's marriage. But temptation is nothing new.
He didn't have a roving eye.
Oh, no.
That he never had. If anybody's eyes roved a little, it might have been mine. No, but nothing could ever have happened. I know that.
So you tell me.
No, I know that. I know that.
Millie and Sid seem just as in love as the day they married. But why do some couples remain so positive, while others descend into negativity? Dr. Angela Rowe is an experimental psychologist and an expert in the science of love. And she suspects that the answer might lie in how our feelings literally alter the way we see our partners. To find out if she was right, she took photographs of 20 volunteers and our 4 couples. She then altered them into 3 progressively better-looking images and 3 progressively worse-looking images. But when it came to a test, who would choose which version of their partner?
Your task is to select the best representation of your partner. Your 2 minutes start now.
As the women settled in to look at the photographs, each had to work out how her partner really looked to her. In Donna's eyes, did Steve look like this or this? Did Jay's ears really stick out quite that much?
I'm quite confident I got it right. So one of them had a big spam head, he ain't got a big spam head.
The test went really well. Our hypotheses seem to have been supported, and that's to say that the couples who were very happy and showed this idealisation of each other tended to choose partners from among the array of photos that were slightly more attractive than their actual partner.
Steve chose exactly as predicted, picking not the real image of Donna, but the most ideal. More surprisingly, Donna did pick the correct image of Steve. Both Millie and Sid had thought the test a nonsense. But after 70 years of looking at the real thing, both picked idealised versions of their partner. Perhaps the reason their relationship has remained so strong.
Couples who are experiencing problems in the relationship or who've been troubled in the relationship for a while now showed the opposite result.
Despite Hayley's confidence, she and Jay performed as expected, picking images less attractive than reality, reflecting perhaps the tensions in their relationship. In fact, only Alan and Lynn went against expectation, both picking slightly idealised versions of the other, possibly a sign that they see each other in a positive light, though for Alan, the motivation was perhaps more political than scientific.
Those photographs, bless her, did her no justice